You're now tuned in to the cold, hard truth. Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips@caymanmarlroad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
Miracle Brokers International is a shipping, moving, and logistics company. You get all our expertise in one stop. Our motto is shop, ship, and save. All shipments are important to MBI and will track your items during shipment, clear through customs on arrival, and deliver to your door. MBI will spend the time in lines to get your cargo for you so you can be more productive with your time. Miracle Brokers, the solution broker. 345-925-5989 or miraclebrokers.com.
Good morning, good folks. We were just trying to get the camera live and going. How is everyone? Oh. All right. Good morning, folks. There we go. The Burger King Big Fish is back. Make sure that you know that this weekend is the tournament and you can get out there and see how much of a big fish you can catch. So let me just adjust my lighting a little bit. And I think I need to adjust the camera just a little bit. Rocking this purple lipstick this morning. It's a little different, but I figured, why not? Something different. Good morning, Georgette. Good morning, Evelyn. Evelyn was the first one to say good morning, sunshine. Good morning, Melita. Cavell, is that how you pronounce your name? Is here for it. Good morning to you, darling. Olivia, Violet, Kevin. Good morning, honey. How are you guys doing? Let me see what's going on here. We got a couple messages coming in. Somebody else said, what's up? Good morning to you all. We have got some great information and some not so good information, but we're still going to share it because I realize that when we post things on Facebook and we book them, if it doesn't specifically say, like it's coming up saying, why should we care? But you don't see the title that I actually put in. So the title said, basically, that we've got ministers who are running amok, who are breaking the law. And then the question said, why should we care? Well, we should care because they're supposed to be held accountable just like the rest of us. But what ends up happening is these ministers, these government officials believe that they are above the law. And you know what's amazing? When we allow them to skirt by and not hold them accountable, like during COVID with the minister's wife, when people continually get away with, oh, they're not going to be charged and these sorts of things are not going to happen, they feel like they can just continue to break the law. That's just how it is. That actually is human nature. Janet, Miss Janet, thank you so much. Thank you, Irvelyn. Figured I'd make it a little bit more lively today with some of the colors. Someone's asking about 2 more COVID cases. Yes, so we have 2 more COVID cases from people who had come in. And this is the importance of the travel restrictions and really trying to adhere to those. They were obviously in quarantine. So that's where we're at. I just heard this camera go off for some strange reason. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or what's happening. I feel sometimes like I definitely need to pull the trigger on that new camera of mine. I've got one coming and the decisions have been tough in terms of, do I get more than one? Because, you know, when you've got different needs, sometimes you've got to do that. Now, I think it's frozen, but you guys can still hear me because I see Facebook is still doing the most with the translations. So until it comes back up, we will continue to talk. I think I can bring up, there's such a thing as a little avatar, but that's not coming up. So that's so weird, right? Anyway, hopefully it'll just come back on. Like I've seen this happen before. No logical explanation for it. Don't know what to tell you. Everything is good in terms of power of the camera, and then it just shuts off. Let's continue the conversation in the meantime about rogue ministers. We've had this conversation before about this particular minister, the Minister of Health, Dwayne Seymour. He appears to have a certain standard of doing business that is unacceptable. He doesn't like to follow the rules. So what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that, folks, is we know for a fact that he has not paid pensions before. We know this because we had the individual come forward and supply all of the evidence and documents to support that. That young man still doesn't have his pension money. And he's still waiting years and years and years later. So good morning to Debbie. I know, Sharon, the picture just literally went off, but you guys can still hear me. So you know what? We're going to keep going with it. Hi, Lily. Good morning to the beautiful Lily. Hi, Perla. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I don't know what to tell you about my little camera here. But yes, it's not turning on. but we're not going to stop the show. As our church brothers and friends would say this morning, the devil will not have his way. He's trying to stop the dream. And it ain't going to happen, because this breaking news and this message is going to get out there no matter what. So the Minister of Health, during COVID, a lot of you were fandangled and fooled by his Bible thumping persona. And it's interesting, but not only are there those of us who are not so easily fooled because we actually know the truth, there are also those of us who the truth continues to find us. Good morning, Alec. Good morning, Lisa. My apologies. No picture. I don't know what's going on with my camera, but this is confirming my purchase of a new camera for sure. I've been waiting to pull the trigger, and I think for sure today it will be happening. So yes, the Minister of Health. Let's talk about it, folks. Let's talk about it. So, the Minister of Health owns a company called APS. And apparently, not only has he not paid pension, as we have discussed in the past, he is also now in the middle of COVID. I want you guys to understand what I'm about to say, because I'm being super, super, super serious here. In the middle of COVID, your Minister of Health, those of you who voted this man in and you have supported him triumphantly, even when he attacked the media, when he sat there in tears, crying about stuff, doing the most. You stood by him and basically said, none of that matters. He's our minister. He's doing his best. He's doing such a great, fantastic job. I can't shut down Evelyn, because if I shut down, the whole thing is going to stop. And I'm assuming you guys can still hear me, because I can see Facebook is still picking up on the fact that it's still transcribing what I'm saying. So unfortunately, if I stop, everything stops if I shut down, right? So sometimes there's no stopping the dream. We've had this before where, oddly enough, the camera just kind of restarts on its own. So we're gonna leave it right there and see what happens. We shall see. But once you can hear me, I want you to listen very carefully. Maybe that's the lesson here. Don't be distracted by me or the lip color that I'm wearing today, but hear precisely what I'm saying about the minister. So there's some of you, like I said, who are believers that, Irvin says I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Huh. Okay, what on earth is going on this morning? No, Karen says she hears me loud and clear. Refresh, Irvin, refresh. Yes, I know you can't see me, folks. There's some kind of glitch. All right, so let's get it. Most people are hearing me just fine. So I want to make the point here this morning. The minister sits there reading his Bible verses and talks about the fact that, he's under so much pressure and you guys are stressing him out, and he's doing his best and he doesn't care what people say. He's going to follow the Bible. Yes, minister. You're going to follow the Bible when you go out in your pre-birthday celebrations with a woman who then talks to her friends that you're paying her $500 for, I guess, a little 30-minute of companionship. So this company that he owns, APS, is a security company that operates out of the airport. And we have seen the minister have little to no regard for his employees in the past, not paying their pension money for years in arrears. Now it has come to my attention that the minister, the Honorable Minister of Health, Dwayne Seymour, has allowed the health insurance for his own employees at APS to lapse. Wow. During COVID, of all times, you are running a company and you allow your company insurance to lapse? Folks, what are you saying here? Yes, this is exactly what I'm telling you, and exactly what has been brought to my attention. I'm going to try changing out my batteries here. I'm not sure if this is going to make a difference on the camera. But imagine this scenario. You're sick. Heaven forbid you think you got COVID, but you decide to pack up and go to the doctor's office. You get to the doctor's office and you give them your insurance card and you say, okay, I want to, submit my insurance. And they say to you, oops, you don't have insurance coverage, ma'am. Your insurance coverage has lapsed. Say what? Yes, Perla. What is exactly the question? What kind of godly man could this man really be? I mean, you people know that my mouth not join in church. And wrong is wrong. And you cannot, in the name of God, Jesus, Buddha, anybody else, justify some of these actions. And you cannot justify putting people in such a precarious situation during a time like COVID-19. This is the same minister who can sit on his own platform and tell people, other companies, that they better ensure, if nothing else, that they pay their insurance. That's the first bill, he said, during the height of COVID, that you should make sure that you pay for your staff. Because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how many people are going to get COVID. And so let us ensure that the people have coverage. The government will help where they can. But let's make sure the people have their coverage. Yes, Minister. How about you walk the walk and not just talk the talk, my brother? We are so sick and tired of you lying to the people and being duplicitous. We are sick and tired of you saying one thing and pretending to be one thing and actually doing something else. This is foolishness. It really is. No level of accountability. Now, you guys will remember, I've told you this. The minister makes at least $13,000. None of them will actually really confirm the exact figure that these ministers make, but we have a ballpark range of numbers. Sue, unfortunately, the camera is doing something funny. It looks like it's just falling asleep and it will not wake up. But we will not allow it to Stop the message this morning because the message is that important, folks. Sometimes this has happened before and then it'll just randomly restart by itself. I don't really know what that's about, but fear not, the message will not be stopped. So if you're just tuning in, some people who are working for APS, going to the doctor's office, that's Dwayne Seymour's airport security company, are discovering that they have no health insurance coverage when they go. They are being told that their coverage has lapsed. Imagine APS Security is owned by the Minister of Health. In the past, we know without a doubt that they have failed to pay pension for years. It's ironic that the minister is not in court for this. Now it is being alleged, once again, that there have been lack of insurance payments to the point where those policies have lapsed, and the employees have no coverage. So I am concerned and I am worried about, what this means for those poor people and how quickly this can be rectified. The fact that it even happened to begin with is shocking. Not really unbelievable, because I know the audacity of what we are dealing with. I have seen his audacity on display before, and I have heard the very believable stories of how this minister operates. So yes, this is a minister who will come up in your face at a youth sporting event, hitting his chest like a gorilla, breathing fire like a fire dragon. I've got to be extra creative with my words because you can't see me this morning, so I'm going to make sure you get the picture that I'm trying to paint. He does all of these things, threatens to beat up someone who he claims was spreading rumors about him. Meanwhile, with his entourage in tow, the person's like, what are you talking about? Yes, folks, there are those of us who are clearly above the law. And the Minister of Health appears to be one of those people. He can get away with the most. Allegations of money being paid to certain people to make things go away. Sometimes people are not so bright because they do things like write checks and they leave a paper trail and all these other things. But their modus operandi is deny, deny, deny. Just say it didn't happen. And the voters of Bordentown, what is he in? Bordentown East, will believe us no matter what. Throw on a concert. So the money that you're spending to host a concert, to bring in some performer, could be money that you're using to pay the pension arrears and now health insurance arrears of your employees. That, my friends, would be money well spent. And instead, People show up to these concerts, as Caymanians say, eat and drink him out and vote him back in. We have to be some of the most ludicrous people in the world when it comes to this sort of stuff. Honestly. Perla wants to know, what are they going to do with all this embarrassment? They don't care. They honestly do not care. I don't think they care one bit. The next time there is a press conference, maybe on Friday, because I hear there's a possible other announcement coming. We're going to talk about that this morning. Folks, this is a hot morning. If nothing else, message your friends and tell them right now, here's the link. Tune into the show, because Sandy is going to be telling us 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 jaw-dropping things this morning. The first one is the allegation that our honorable, and I'm going to use that ever so lightly, Minister of Health has allowed for his APS company, has allowed the insurance payments to lapse, the health insurance to lapse and to go into arrears, so that people are going to the doctor's office only to then find out that they have no coverage. Cayman First, are you there? Anybody at Cayman First can verify? Now, I don't know how many people he employs, but I think it's a good number, because they provide the security for the airport. So I'm sure by this morning, by 10 o'clock, the insurance company will have a check in their hands to bring this up to arrears, and then he's going to want to claim, oh, that's fake news. See, here's my policy. It's not true. Well, it can't be not true when people are going to the doctor and they're having to pay out of pocket because there's no coverage. These are poor people who, I don't even know if they're still getting paid, because, the airport is closed. I don't know what kind of salary they're still getting. But most of us just ain't got the money to be forking out for these types of things right now. I mean, trust me, it's not cheap going to the doctors, folks. This morning after the show, I might actually end the show a little bit early, because I've got an orthopedic surgeon appointment. Seems like I had a birthday and all of a sudden my poor knees are feeling like I'm 80 years old. So I got to get in there and see what is going on. And imagine if I walk in there and thought I had insurance, to only be told, oh no, sorry, you don't have any insurance. It's such a shock when you think something is in place. And then you find out, well, hell, I don't have any insurance. What if this was a bill you just hadn't budgeted for, folks? Then what? What are you going to do? I don't even know what you would do, to be honest. I don't have the answers, because I know how tight money can be. Most of us are not making $13,000 a month, where if an unexpected bill comes up, we can be like, oh, sure, no problem. I can cover that. Meanwhile, this is a man who's got, 4 or 5 children. I'm sure his children are not going without the best in life. I am pretty sure that those private school tuition fees are being paid because they will evict your ass in a second. I'm pretty sure when the wife wants to go to the salon to get the weave fixed up, that bill is getting paid. Hair, the nails, all that stuff is getting done. None of that's being sacrificed. But you are sacrificing the health and well-being of your employees. Unbelievable, right? So I apologize, folks. My camera still isn't coming up. But like I said this morning, that will not be stopping the show. Under no circumstances, the show will go on. We will keep this train very much on track. Perla says, that's why I'm so careful for whom I vote. My vote is very precious this time. Can't blame you, my dear. I cannot blame you one bit. So this is what it is. You know, I don't know what else to tell you except we have to remain vigilant. We have to ensure that we know what's going on. You know, these poor Jamaican fellas, I don't know what to say, except most of the workers, 99.9% of the workers, I'm pretty sure, are expat workers. And a lot of them are going to be afraid, you know, to speak up. That's why so many Caymanians love to hire expat workers, because we take advantage of them in the most unbelievable way. And we get away with it because no expat worker wants to make any waves until they're leaving Cayman or they have already left Cayman. Oh, you'll never get a work permit in Cayman again, they say. Oh, the minister is coming after you. You say anything bad about his company, not only are you going to get fired, you're going to get kicked off of the island because he knows people in immigration. You, your family, your unborn children, everybody's going to get kicked off. So this is what we're dealing with here, folks. This is the stark reality of what people have to deal with. It's sad, unbelievable. Good morning, Kenneth. Good morning, Cecile, Corrine. Good morning, Larry. For those of you who are just tuning in, my apologies for not having any visual this morning, but I'm glad that you guys can still hear me. Boy, Dean, corruption at work is something that is a recurring theme. This isn't the first time we've addressed it. And it's not going to be the last time, I suspect. What are we going to do about it? I mean, honestly, we need to start holding people accountable. So, Perla, when you say that your vote is precious, all of us should be feeling that way. Every single one of us. Yes, Lisa, get the tea, my dear. Brew it hot. Mm-hmm. Yep. Make sure. Unbelievable. Mr. Minister, while you're up in people's private lives, talking about gay people and all of these sorts of things that concern you the most, somebody else's life, someone else's soul apparently is your primary control or concern, my apologies. Oh, you must talk about the moon and the, what's it called? The sex crazed women that need to populate the Cayman Islands to increase our population. So everybody has to pay attention to the lunar cycle in order to know when it's appropriate to shag their girlfriends or multiple girlfriends, as some of you have proven, to get them all pregnant because we need more people on this earth. And that's going to help when we have employers such as you, who do not believe in meeting their most basic obligations. I see. Well, now, might I say, that makes no sense. And only a fool would be inclined to follow that sort of advice. You don't take on what you cannot afford. Simple, simple, simple. Right? Yeah. You can't afford to run a business? Guess what? Don't start a business. It's simple. Can't afford the bills that you have, the luxury items that you want. It's simple. Don't get them. Anne has just tuned in. Anne and Suzette, those of you who are just tuning in, my apologies for the lack of a visual this morning, but we're talking about the Minister of Health and the very reliable allegation that his staff members are going to the doctor to only find out that they have no insurance coverage. Yep. And I hope it wasn't anything serious for these workers and a major bill, because how does that work now? You have no insurance coverage. Is the minister going to end up paying these bills that you've now had to pay out of pocket? Because even if he rushes today and attempts to get the insurance policy back up to scruff, what does that mean for everyone else who's already paid out money? There we are. Oh my gosh, guys, look at my poor hair this morning. I'm back. I am back. Look at that. So I restarted it again for the 100th time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yes. Now you can see my disbelief. Now you can see my shocking responses to this ridiculousness. So, back during COVID, when the crocodile tears were flowing, oh my God, Wendy Ledger and her viewers hurt my feelings. Boo hoo hoo. My response was, suck it up, dude. We, the people, are paying you $13,000 a month. We expect you to suck it up. Criticism is part of your job. You can respond to it by simply setting the record straight. That would have been an appropriate response. But the problem is, you can't set the record straight because nobody was being mean to the minister. People were expressing an opinion of concern about his ability to do the job as health minister. And those are valid opinions and valid concerns. But what do? You deflect. That's a tactic, folks. It's a tactic of manipulators, narcissists, aka politicians. That's what they do. They deflect, get everybody feeling sorry for him, sitting there with your Bible. That's just another tactic, folks. And those of you who were sitting there feeling sorry for the minister, shame on you, because you've been duped. You have been fooled, folks, beyond. The government has decided they're going to set up a media accreditation body. This is a direct response to Cayman Mall Road being on the scene, folks. Let's not make any qualms about it. They want to be able to control the media. So they want to say who is media and who isn't media. What a bunch of jokers. Why? Because oftentimes we speak the truth. We throw that big coconut into the pigsty, into the pig pen, and it is clunking one of them on the head. And they don't like it. So they think, oh, well, if we don't accredit her as media, that will somehow stop what she's doing. My sweet. Poor them. Here we go, folks. Government should have no business. This sounds like something out of friggin' China and Russia, where you have government-run media houses. They're the only source of media. There's little to no independent media in these communist countries. And where there are independent media sources in the Middle East, those journalists are jailed. They are killed sometimes. And this is the direction in which the same government who does stuff like this is headed. They will set up a media accreditation body. Who are they to tell us what is media and what isn't media? Kenneth Bryan. I don't know if Kenny's listening this morning. So Perla says, why do you think they hate him so much? Well, I tell you what, they don't like anybody, Perla, who's going to make some waves. Kenneth has done a fairly good job his first term of being there for the people, his representatives. Where Kenneth has fallen a little bit short is he doesn't quite yet get how to play the game of politics. And this is one of the reasons why when people say to me, oh, you should run for office, I'm like, pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. Because running for political office at some level means that you are willing to play ball with the boys and girls that make up the members of the Legislative Assembly. And if you're not willing to do that, you will not fare well with them politically. You will never get a ministry. You will never be a minister of anything. Right? They are going to make your life as difficult as possible. That's what they do. Yep. And I'm not up for it. I ain't got the time for it. I'm not up for it. I don't care for it. It's as simple as that. It is what it is. You know what I want to be minister of? Minister of the truth. That can be a tough pill to swallow for all of us. Mr. Minister of Health, once again, you have been found wanting as an employer. Maybe you just don't need to be in business. Let us be honest here, right? I was saying this yesterday to a client of mine. There are people who are good at their job. So you are a doctor. You're good at being a doctor. You wash cars. You are great at washing cars. You mow the lawn. You are great at mowing the lawn. That doesn't mean that you should go and open up a doctor's business, like a whole clinic, hiring other people, employing other people. That doesn't mean that you should go out there and open up a lawn service business, offering lawn maintenance to others. Because all of a sudden now, you've got to hire people. You need workers. You need to make sure you follow the law. They need to have contracts, pension, insurance. They get paid on time, disciplinary action. So you've got to take off your hat as a doctor and put on your business person's hat. Marketing, running your business, all of these things. And maybe you're just not up for any of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why people feel like they always have to run out there and become, the next best business person. If that's not your forte, leave it alone. Make somebody else do it. Look at here, Donovan, good morning. Our good friend Donovan from New York. He's a friend to the show. He's been on here as a guest before. Donovan shared his story of the minister having not paid his pension for years. Folks, Donovan worked for this same APS company. And he spoke to us on our show. Do you guys remember this interview? If you don't, I'm trying to see if I can find the show. It was sometime last year. Better yet, I have the article here, and I will give this to you to refresh your memory. That has the video in it of what the minister has done in the past. So poor Donovan had a work permit back in 2006. Folks, we are in 2020. I'm aware that I did not say 2016. I said 2006. And he worked for this company, for APS Limited. Again, that's a security company working out of Owen Roberts Airport, offering security services. Chambers began his employment in 2005, April 2005. And the Minister of Health, amazingly, did not pay his health insurance then either. Yep, he didn't. In fact, not only did he not pay it then, but poor Mr. Donovan did his best, back and forth with DLP. Back and forth with insurance companies. Go back and watch this this interview that Mr. Chambers did, because one of the interesting things I thought that Mr. Chambers said to me is how he was hoodwinked into thinking that the minister was a good person. Oh, he would always come in, shake your hand, and say to you, I am a man of my word. You can believe me, he says. So he claims. You can believe what I say. Take it to the bank. Take it to the bank, folks. Take it to the bank. Yeah? Okay. He made his workers feel so good when he came into the office that they never thought, this is a man who would not pay my pension money? Well, Mr. Donovan left his employment. He was rolled over. So that lets you know how long he worked with the company. No issues. All right. Then he comes back. He doesn't come back, sorry. He starts to make some inquiries about his pension money. By the way, why have I not paid for pension? Well, read what Mr. Donovan just said this morning, folks. It is now September the 10th, 2020. And he says, and I am still waiting on my money. What the hell? All this time? Donovan, remind me of when you got rolled over. When did you actually leave? Because it has been a long time. Huh. Yeah, boy. Unbelievable. Okay, man. You need to wake up, my people. The games that are being played with you as hardworking members of this community who are all struggling to make ends meet. The fact that you are being hoodwinked into believing that these people are good people. And just because they can get up and quote the Bible, that somehow means that they're doing the right thing by people. I want to remind you, the easiest and oldest trick in the book is to lie to people under the guise of religion. Because we are so indoctrinated and have been so influenced to want to believe when someone holds a Bible in their hand that they're going to tell us the truth. We want to believe in the best of people. That's who we are as human beings. This minister can call Wendy Ledger stupid. Are you stupid? You'd have to be stupid to ask me that kind of question. How dare you? This is the minister who can threaten to beat up Johann Moxham. Now that's a fight I would have liked to have seen, to be honest. I would have put my money in that one. I would have been like, oh yeah. Go ahead, minister. You already had your ass kicked once before by Kung Fu Panda. I would have slapped my money on the table, Johann. I'm not a betting woman, but that day I would have put $100 on you. You could have taken it, I believe. But you know, we sit here and we tell people, don't fight our young kids. Don't fight. You know, be responsible. This person's the minister of health or the minister of sports, and they're out there doing stuff. They're leaders in their country and they're having bar fights. They're getting beaten up in bars or beating people up or vice versa. But it's okay. They get a pass, apparently. So Donovan confirms that he left in 2013. And here we are in 2020. That's 7 years now. 7 years. And poor Donovan is still waiting on his money. So I'm sure Donovan is not surprised to hear that unfortunately, others are in the same boat, and it continues to happen. And not only does it continue to happen, now it's happening with unpaid health insurance. Unbelievable, folks. Well, what are we going to do? Well, says he can stand in the House of the Legislative Assembly and tell me as a gay man in the Cayman Islands that I don't have a right to live my life. But he's been disrespectful to so many others and breaking laws and getting away with it. I've been trying to get a meeting with him regarding Gov'T since January. Wow. It's now September, folks. I can only think he's upset because of my platform, but he needs to respond to people's emails and stop being childish and unprofessional. But why would I expect any better? Well, you can expect better, but you won't necessarily get any better. It's a sad thing that there are people who will not live up to our expectations, no matter what we do. The sad thing about it, though, is he is working for us, the people. And it sounds to me that based on his actions, he probably doesn't really want the job. He wants the money, but he doesn't want to do the work. So I think it's time for him to go. Wow. Doesn't respond to emails. Doesn't respond to messages. Does any of this sound familiar? Donovan came on our program back on September the 17th of 2019, almost 2 years to the day. Wow, Donovan, it's been that long already? Jeez, please. Time flies. We put this man on display. We talked about his shenanigans back then. And still, nothing has been done. The minister continues to do whatever the hell he wants. You know what them old people say, right? Time longer than rope. Time is coming, folks. Time is coming. Yes, Morna. May is right around the corner. We are in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. You got 8 months. Enjoy it while you can. Because some of these people need to get voted out of the Legislative Assembly. They're not good at their LA jobs. They're not good at running their own businesses. They claim that they can't control their wives or their family. Those run amok, and they have no control over that situation. What are they good for? What are they good at? I'm just wondering. What's the point? What success stories do we have? I want to know. Every meeting this minister sits down every time we have a press conference. And this man has the audacity to take up more time speaking than anybody else and has the least to say. Am I the only one that thinks that? He will speak twice as long as the premier, twice as long as the governor, and say 90% less of anything of significance. When he's finished speaking, first of all, we see what you people be doing. I'm watching you all. I see how you tune out when the minister comes on. All of a sudden, you stop listening. Some of you put it on mute. You turn off the live stream. You start rolling your eyes. You go to the kitchen. You get a sandwich. You do anything but listen to what the minister has to say. Perla, you are so smart and beautiful, might I say. You're an absolutely gorgeous young lady. But most importantly, you are seeing the light. And this is so important. Yes, for them, it is about the money. And not only is it about the money, the here and now, the current salary, it is about future income. So let me explain how this works. I was saying this to someone yesterday as well. Yeah, it's great to be making $13,000 a month, but do you know the connections that they get to make as a minister of government that will secure them in future projects, future kickbacks, future endeavors, future business deals, whether under the table or above the table or around the table or whatever. 105 of you are tuned in this morning. We've got 12 on, sorry, I'm getting a little bit stuffy here, but we've got 12 on our YouTube channel, 94 on Facebook. Thank you so much, folks. So there is good business, apparently, in being a politician. Yep. What do you know? Well, oh, I'm sorry. Kenneth would not be listening to us because I've actually just seen that he's on with Woody this morning. So Perla, I will certainly pass your comments on to him because I think a lot of people really feel that Kenneth is doing his best. And at the end of the day, that's what we are asking of our politicians. We're not asking for perfection. I mean, don't get me wrong here, folks. I'm not saying that these guys need to be perfect, that they need to be the perfect fathers and the perfect husbands and, but I'm saying you're far from perfect. You're on the list of failures. Let's try to get off that list. You're not trying one bit. You're not trying to be a good father. You're not trying to be a good politician. You're not trying to be a good business owner. You're not trying to do any of those things. It's a money grab, as Perla said. So what's the point? You're failing at everything. You look good. You're taking the people's money, throwing a party for them. And then that garnishes the vote of the people. Big whoop. You're a shyster. You should be a clown in the circus because you've got a lot of people fooled. And that's not cool. That's not something you should be trying and achieving or trying to be. Good morning to Debbie Ebanks. Debbie, I don't know if she's tuned in, but I saw where she posted that she's got a new addition to the family. Little Miss Naya has been born and added to her family. Congratulations. So many cute babies being born right now. Tiffany has announced, Tiffany Gale Griffiths has announced the arrival of her little one, Madison Giselle. 6 pounds, 5 ounces. What a cutie. Congratulations. We will keep you updated, folks, as we find out more about these allegations against the minister. All I want to hear next is that the insurance arrears has been paid. Simple. Now, let me talk about something else that's going on that is probably equally as shocking. This is another story that we're working on for you guys today. DVDL is going around taking the licenses of certain people who they say have been involved in some sort of fraudulent activity. Now, they're not exactly telling the persons that they're taking the license from. There's been no accusation against them as yet. However, they are issuing a letter, which I do have, but I can't put it up on the screen yet because I need to crop out the details of who it was issued to. And basically, they're saying your license has been obtained under the suspicion of fraud. And so therefore, we are taking your license from you. And they're leaving them without a license. So someone brought this to my attention yesterday because they said, listen, as an employer, I have someone working for me who needs to be able to drive their vehicle, drive the company car. And if the DVDL is taking their license, imagine if my worker wasn't an honest person and never told me this. I would have a guy driving around without a license that I knew nothing about, but yet I would be held accountable for because he or she is driving my company vehicle. Now listen to this. Alric says he knows somebody who this has happened to. Now, I don't know how widespread this is, but it seems like it's quite a few people. So we did some digging and we've been able to ascertain, wow, and she's a delivery driver at that. Well, that's not good. We have been able to ascertain two things. You guys remember a couple years ago, back in, I think it's 2017, there was an arrest made with a young lady by the name of Kimberly. Now, Kimberly worked at, let me see if I can bring her up here, the DVDL. And she was arrested by the anti-corruption unit under the suspicion of being involved in the fraudulent issuing of driver's licenses. So Kimberly, I don't think they've yet charged her. Let me just see here. So she worked as a licensing officer, I guess, or cashier or something at the DMV, DVDL. And she was somehow charging people for a license or test that they never took. Now, you know, this pisses me off. Our Caymanians, our own people, are the ones who are responsible for so much of the shenanigans that are going on in this country. It is no wonder we have so many accidents on the road because apparently some of these people may have bought their licenses. Such a shame. because apparently this situation directly involves one of her own. Now, this goes back to 2017. And I want to say that I'm trying to remember when in 2017 this was. This was not long after CMR got started. Here we go. I knew I would find it. Bardentown woman arrested on corruption charges October the 12th of 2017. Here we go. And so the allegation against Kimberly is that she was selling driver's licenses for people who hadn't taken the test. I'm trying to find this. Here we go. Found it. Yes, folks. Her name is, let me just get it right now. Kimberly. Her folks are from North Side. McLaughlin was her maiden name, but she has some married name now. But she's married to the Jamaican fella who was in court recently for exposing himself in public, exposing his privates to a jogger. So poor Kimberly, she sounds like she's a bright one because she picks up the most useless men, right? To bring them here to sexually assault people on the public streets. But she was also arrested in relation to this accusation. I do not think that charges have yet been filed. The investigation continues. The DPP has the file. We can certainly check in with them and see where that matter is. There was another gentleman, apparently, who was arrested about 4 months after her. And I think this is strange, but I think this one went under radar and didn't really make the news. So sometimes announcements are not made publicly and we don't get the information, we missed it. So these two persons, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're working together in any way. I don't think that that is the accusation. But these two persons are involved in the issuing of allegedly fraudulent driver's licenses, multiple. For her, it may have been upwards of 20 people taking money for tests that were never given. And so the DMV is stripping people of their driver's licenses. So basically, they're issuing a letter. The police are showing up at your door, handing you this letter and say, give us your driver's license. There's no court process, which is kind of weird. The person hasn't themselves been charged with an offense, which if you were actively involved in this type of situation, that would be an offense, folks. And those people should be charged if they can prove it. Now, some of the people that I've spoken to said they haven't done anything wrong and they don't know what's going on. So they appear confused. Now, I don't know. I'm not swearing for anybody. It is just really, really strange. So I think her new name might be Kimberly Riley because she mentioned, like I said, she married this guy and now has a child for him. Yes, Kimberly Riley is her name. So Kimberly is involved in this mix-up at the DMV. So basically, if you went to Kimberly and you paid for your license, folks, you might be having the police come to you 3-4 years after you got your license and taking you away, or taking your license away, I should say, for an alleged fraud. So as a delivery driver, Alric, I believe that she can go and get her license. She can get another license basically until, I guess, this case is concluded or something happens as a result. Morna said she's running for public office because she wants the money. She's not going to run the country well. She's not going to do anything. She just wants you to hand your money over to her. Yes, well, Kimberly, you'd be no different. I mean, sorry, Morna. Oh my gosh. You'd be no different. Now, I know that Morna is joking, but setting all jokes aside, this is very, very disturbing. This is why, folks, we need to have some better options for the Legislative Assembly. Now, you know, here in Cayman Mall Road, we will be happily endorsing people. And I don't care who likes it and who doesn't like it. We're going to be digging, vetting people, interviewing them, getting to the bottom of this. I can endorse someone like Alric because Alric has demonstrated through his community work, his commitment to his own personal development, that he is a relatively upstanding guy. Is he perfect? Nope. But he seems to have the heart of the type of person that we want in the Legislative Assembly. Intellectual capacity, absolutely. Yes, Alric is smart, but that's only one part of the equation. We need more than smart. We need more than just a lawyer and just a CPA. Those things are good. Don't get me wrong. At least he'll understand his job. He'll be able to speak properly to the people. But there's more than that. We have a whole long list of traits that we are looking for, and we will be discussing those as we get closer to the upcoming national elections in May of 2021. So give me one quick second here. We're going to take another commercial break. I don't want you guys to go away because coming up next is going to be another big announcement. So I promised you 3 things this morning. One was the Minister of Health. Number 2 was this driver's licensing scam, but I'm sorry, I'm getting so congested. I've got to take a minute. And the third one, we're going to discuss right after this.
Delivering these days can be frustrating. You can either wait forever or pay insane prices to get it faster. Even then, you still have no idea when it'll reach its destination. That's where Miracle Brokers comes in. We are flexible, reliable, and most importantly, fast. Whether you need household relocation, delivery services, full custom brokerage, overseas consolidation, commercial moving, packing materials, overseas consolidation, or inter-island moving, we offer exceptional logistics services all around the world that suits your individual needs. Just choose when, where, and what your delivery will be. You can even get it delivered same day. What's more, we'll choose the best courier for you based on your delivery requirements. This means less waiting and less hassle for you. Because we don't just say we care, this and much more make us a great option for you. Discover our shipping solutions and more at miraclebrokers.com today.
All right, folks, welcome back to the cold, hard truth. Some days are a little bit more cold and a little bit more hard. My apologies, my sinuses seem to be acting up today. I don't know if there's something extra in the air. But the next announcement that we have for you is civil servants. I want you to pay attention. If you've got friends who are civil servants, the talk on the street, and this is a CMR exclusive for you, is that they may be getting access to their pension funds. So my sources tell me that there were some high-level discussions yesterday morning that took place that will allow, now I don't know if it's going to be everybody, or if it's just going to be some authorities, or, we don't know the details yet. But my sources have said they will have access to some of their pension money. I know the government is also considering extending the existing pension holiday and or emergency pension withdrawal. So we're waiting on more details in terms of that. We don't know how long they're going to extend it for, or what percentage additional you can take out, or is it just for people who didn't first get to take out? So those details will come. But if you are a civil servant, the word on the street is, on the mall road, somebody's kicking the pebble down the street, and that pebble is basically that you may have, as a civil servant, a way to get some of your money. Now, I was speaking to someone yesterday who's in the loan business and the banking business, and they were saying that, boy, they see a lot of spending going on here that doesn't make any sense. People have been using their pension money for all the wrong reasons. So some are using it to pay off loans so they can get a new car loan. Why would you want a new car loan? Listen to me. Right now, if I had pension money to go pay off any kind of loan or pay anything off, I would pay it off, because maybe that's saving you $500, $1,000 a month. So it's helping you to get out of debt early. But getting back into debt and paying a new or obtaining a new loan makes no monetary sense whatsoever. That is crazy, folks. Don't do it. It makes no sense. You don't know what the long-term implications and fallout of COVID will be. And so when you spend your money frivolously, you play into what Brent Hill said. Oh, these people don't need their money because they're going to be buying big screen TVs. Well, apparently some of you are out there wasting money and buying big screen TVs. Don't do it, folks. I'm warning you. This will not end well. And then some of these people who accessed their pension fund got thousands and thousands of dollars, wasted it frivolously, are now knocking on the doors of NAU. Listen, NAU should chuck your application into the garbage. And I'm being very serious here, folks. We cannot continue to allow people to take advantage of the services that we have in this country and think that we all don't pay for this. Nothing is free. My aunt always used to tell me this. In terms of money, she told me two important lessons. Number one, nothing in this world is free. Number two, she used to show me the American dollar bill. She said, you see this eagle on it? Money flies. Hang on to it. Do your best to save. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that I'm not the best at saving. I try to do my best at paying my bills. But do I have a $500,000 nest egg? Nope. I'm just making sure I pay my mortgage, pay car loans, whatever, get the bills paid, life insurance, health insurance, all these things got to be paid, property insurance. So if we're operating under the understanding that money doesn't last very long and it flies, why are some of us out there wasting it? Buying things unnecessarily that we do not need. Lillian is having a chuckle at this conversation. I mean, it's kind of funny, but then it's dead serious. Like, it's not funny at all to think that people are wasting good money. And then they're going to go back to the government agencies that are overburdened. And, spending millions of dollars a year trying to support a handful of people who continually use NAU services. Well, we all might be in a position of need. And I'm not saying that you don't need it. If you need it, you utilize the services. If you don't need it, or you've received pension money and you have frivolously spent that pension money, you cannot blame government or the NAU for doing their proper due diligence in digging into what you did with your money. Good on them. Yes, my dear child, Richie, the money has been flowing. These car rental companies in Cayman have no rental business really because, tourists are not here. But guess what? They have been selling off their fleet because apparently everybody now needs to buy a car. And my understanding is the sales, as Richie just said, have been hot. All these car dealerships are doing just fine because apparently people are buying new cars, which I think is crazy. Taking their pension money, paying off a loan, and then going to the bank to get another loan. Someone said to me that they had applied to credit union for a loan and it was approved pre-COVID. And then during COVID, credit union basically said, well, we're actually not going to disperse any loans or anything right now. So I don't know what banks these people are going to get loans approved, but I would hope that there's some sort of a moratorium in place on access to things like a loan. A loan is a car loan in particular is a luxury vehicle. So this is the challenge. I want you guys to understand that we are all on a journey together. And if we're not careful and we're not doing this right, we're going to be in a world of trouble. There's been the possibility floating around of us paying some kind of potential tax. That's going to be the least of our worries here in a minute. We need to be smart as a country, and we need to be smart as individuals so that we can ride out what's happening with COVID. This is not a short 1 month, we're going to be fine type of situation. Even if we were able to reopen our borders completely, which we can't, we're going to do a phased reopening. Yesterday's press conference, it was announced that we have 2 new positive cases. They were people in isolation who had come in with the virus. This evening, we have a show at 7, and we'll be talking to one of the persons in quarantine. I think she may have gotten out yesterday. But the risk is there. The risk will continue to be there. And until we are able to get a vaccine that everybody wants to take, and unfortunately, that's not going to happen. We hear a lot of foolish people talking about, oh, they're not taking no vaccine. They're not going to kill me. The governor addressed that yesterday. We'll talk a little bit more about that this evening. Some of the concerns that came out of the press briefing. We're going to do a bit of a soft reopening coming up here with the next BA flight that comes in on the 17th. So they're going to try it with their bio button and all these other things. This could be a very perilous ride for a long time, folks. So you got to save your money. You got to be a little bit smarter. Don't spend it all. You know, you treat yourself to like one little thing, and everybody's going on a staycation. I've never seen more people at the Ritz, the Kimpton, the cottages, Kaibo, the this, the that. The money is flowing, and I get it. But it will only be flowing for so long. And when the money run out, then what are you going to do? When the government runs out of money, then what are you going to do? Folks, it's 3 minutes before 9 o'clock. I mentioned earlier today that I'm having some sort of issue with my knees that just crept up on me. It's like the second you have a birthday, things start to fall apart, man. You go from being in your 40s to feeling like you're 85. So we need to figure out why that is and what is going on. Not a nice feeling at all. So I'm got to go to the doctor this morning. Good morning, Debbie. Yes, Louie, I agree. Stimulating the economy doesn't mean that we have to foolishly spend our money. Absolutely. Yep. Someone sent me some photos yesterday. I want to share this one with you guys of how careless and reckless people are being with our environment. Look at this. People just throw down old air handler parts and AC units on the side of the street. No care in the world. This is in West Bay, right by a church. On the side of the road. No care for our environment whatsoever. Not nice, folks. Big shout out to Woody DaCosta. Today is actually Woody's birthday. So we want to wish Woody an absolutely fabulous birthday. Woody is over there on Crosstalk. So happy birthday, Woody. Wishing you all the best. Woody looks like he knows how to celebrate properly. There's another photo of him here on Facebook that's quite funny. Him eating some dessert. Good job, Woody. Also, I want to give a little shout out to Ruth Anna. Ruth Anna Young has been the host of Cayman Crosstalk for, well, she took it over when Austin left. So for the past 3 years, I think. And she's actually leaving the show. She will no longer be hosting. I think they have found someone new, or they will be finding someone new. You know, since then, a lot has changed for her. She has become a mother, which, as we all know, is a big responsibility. And it means that, you know, the time that you used to be able to have for yourself, you no longer have. Just one of the things with life, right? So it is what it is. She's moving on. She's been doing real estate after her salon business shut down. And it sounds like things are happening in the real estate market. So congratulations for her. And, you know, it's really difficult, I must say, to be in this space as a woman in particular. There's so many things that you have working against you that may not always be obvious to the average person out there. So I always applaud, whether it's Barry Quape, Ruth Anna, who else is, what other women have we had? We have the Business Buzz with Sabrina Turner. That's a little bit different than what we do. But really, any woman that can successfully host a radio show program or even a TV show program in the Cayman Islands, I take my hat off to them. So Ruth Anna is moving on to bigger and better things. Just a reminder that there's the Big Fish tournament back on this weekend. It was postponed earlier in the year because of COVID. So if you're fishing, if you're a fisherman, and trust me, Cayman has some serious fishermen out there. Get your gear ready, your rods, your team, your boat, because it's time to go fishing. We'll have some more information coming up on that, but it is happening this weekend for sure. And CMR will actually be there live, providing live coverage of the weigh-in event. So I'm going to cut out a little bit early. Yes, my dear Sue, I've never had painful knees before. And believe me, this is not nice. When you get up and you feel like, oh my God, I can barely get up. It actually feels better to just stand than to sit down and then have to stand. So I'm not ready for knee replacement yet. I'm too young for that. So I'm going to see in the meantime, you know, kind of what's going on, ensure that it's nothing too serious. And then what we can do to delay any sort of issues and address the immediate issues that are happening. So maybe some therapy, acupuncture, physio, we're going to get to the bottom of it. I also have a wedding to attend this morning. So congratulations to Misha and Corey. They are getting married today. So I've been invited to this wedding and I'm so happy to be in attendance. So I'm basically going to run now, change my clothes, go to the doctor's appointment, go to the wedding, celebrate with the couple afterwards, and I'm going to have a fabulous day and hopefully be back here by 7 o'clock. So I do have a busy day ahead. And of course, you guys know that I do work outside of CMR stuff. I've got my Roque business. If you need a streaming device, you guys know to contact us. We provide the best customer support. I'm going to do a little self-plug here. Check us out. Save yourself some money, folks. Get the support you need and the content that you want for only $50 per month. Don't pay more. You don't have to. Give us a call today, 926-1213. We will sort you out, take care of you, and make sure you're all good. Big shout out to Flo, by the way. I've been sending Flo a lot of business internet customers, and they have really stepped up their game. I got to be honest with you. Within half an hour, my referral list of people were being contacted. Boom, boom, boom. You know, we understand you're having an issue. How can we help you? It's amazing. So you give me a jingle if you had any issues getting through to Flo, because we got the direct dial digits. Let's put it that way. We can help you out. We can get things resolved. Love it. That's the kind of customer service that we like to give to our customers, and we enjoy working with partners who deliver that same type of service. So good, folks. I'm going to leave you there for now. I will probably have to take an allergy tablet today because my sinuses continue to be a little bit problematic. So I think I've got something for that. But I wish you guys all the best today. Please be safe. And we'll be back at 7 o'clock this evening. And this evening, we're going to focus on a lot of what transpired during the press conference. Ugh, my sinuses are killing me. So make sure you tune in for that.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get the latest happenings.